The Witcher 3, as I'm sure you know by now, is one of my favorite games of all time, and I know it is for a lot of other people as well. And although it has satisfying gameplay and an incredible open world, what really makes The Witcher 3 what it is its incredible story. And a big contributing factor to this story is the game's protagonist, Geralt of Rivia. Geralt, however, is a very unique protagonist, and when you compare him to others who would be considered some of the best protagonists in video games, he is very different and well loved for different reasons. Geralt of Rivia is no Arthur Morgan or Ezio Auditore. He doesn't have a super charismatic and humorous personality. In fact, it's really quite the opposite in a sense. It's funny because The Witcher 3 will repeatedly state that Geralt's Witcher mutations had him stripped of his emotions, yet there are countless times where I feel Geralt has tremendous displays of emotion, and the fact that he's considered to be so emotionless and ruthless is what makes those moments even more powerful. As we know from The Witcher 3, Geralt has people he cares about, mainly Yennefer, Triss, and Ciri, and those three characters bring out a lot of emotion out of Geralt and keep him humanized and relatable. His brooding, serious personality is what makes these moments so great because we aren't used to seeing Geralt being heavily affected by feelings or emotion. Ciri is a great supporting character for Geralt because Geralt sees Ciri as a daughter to him, and almost like it's his responsibility to protect her, and that emotion and desperation to find and save her is what drives a lot of the plot in The Witcher 3. The dynamic almost reminds me a little of Joel and Ellie from The Last of Us, because you must keep in mind that Geralt never really wanted Ciri in the first place, but he grew close and connected to her to the point where he would do anything to protect her. Geralt has so many walls and layers to his character that from anyone who's seeing him for the first time will think he's bland and boring. But once you play more and more with Geralt, those layers start to peel off and you can understand Geralt and his true intentions, and even though he tries his best to hide his softer side, it still shines through, especially with Ciri. There's even a few instances where Geralt will show empathy and care for random strangers he encounters during his journey, and even for some monsters. Geralt is no ordinary witcher. In fact, killing monsters is more of his last resort rather than first instinct, and when he can, he tries to help and protect innocent monsters because he understands what it's like to be feared and hated by humans, since he is a mutant after all. Of course, a lot of these decisions are also left up to you, the player, but I think the best character growth and moments with Geralt are actually when he shows mercy and empathy for those he has been contracted to kill. And while sure Geralt doesn't have a super out there charming personality like Ezio for example, make no mistake, he's still a charming character. Geralt's charm and compassion is just way more low-key and reserved. He doesn't speak too much and he's very direct, and he's almost always honest, and that's what makes him charming even when he's not constantly cracking jokes. And yet when he does crack a joke, it's not even that the jokes themselves are funny, it's just hilarious seeing them coming out of Geralt's mouth, someone notorious for being overly serious and cutthroat. I think Geralt softens up even more as The Witcher 3's story progresses, and while the first two Witcher games were more about Geralt becoming a hero and saving lives, The Witcher 3's story is a lot more personal, and Geralt maturing and learning what he wants to live a happy life, because Geralt's getting old and doesn't want to spend the rest of his days killing monsters. I think that maturity and new perspective is really evident, especially in the ending, well, assuming you got the good ending to the game. In fact, in the Hearts of Stone DLC, Geralt feels almost like a completely different character. He's expressive, caring, and a lot more human than ever before, and it's a big testament to his growth, and that was really cool to see, and we finally got to see this lighter, happier side to Geralt that we always knew he had, but only ever saw in glimpses. Geralt appears to be such a simple and easy character to understand and figure out, but the more you watch him, the more complicated and complex you realize his character is, and he's just got so many walls covering his true self, and it's so fun to see how Geralt's emotions develop and how he becomes more and more human. Because growing up as a Witcher, he was never taught to deal with feelings and emotions, which makes it so interesting to see this incredibly tough and ruthless badass character go through a lot of the same emotions that people in real life must deal with, which not only makes him more humanized and relatable, but also more likable and intriguing. I think the Witcher TV series is also doing a really good job of showing Geralt's complex character web, and we've already seen a few examples in that show where he's shown empathy and emotion for certain characters and monsters. I think it was already perfectly portrayed through the Witcher series, and especially in The Witcher 3. That's why I think Geralt of Rivia is one of the best video game protagonists, and why he's a much more complex character than many people think. And I'm curious to know what you guys think of Geralt and who else you feel is a really great protagonist that you may want me to look into next. Feel free to leave some characters down in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, you can always thank me by subscribing subscribing to the channel. It really helps me out and motivates me to keep making videos, so that would be much appreciated. Anyways, thanks for watching guys, and have a great day.